Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a season preview for Football Club Barcelona. We've got a season essentially on the horizon. Tonight is the first fixture at home to Villarreal, so whenever you guys are watching it, this will be a good preview for the season, and well, it should be an interesting season. You know, Koeman is the new coach, Lionel Messi remains, but does Josep Maria Bartomeu as the president? We have to wait and see how the vote of no confidence and elections do end up going. But what we're basically going to be going through today is, well, what's the squad going to look like? You know, what players are we going to have available? Are they good enough to compete on all three or even four fronts if you include the Supercopa? Also, how we're going to play with Koeman. It's actually quite up in the air right now with formation-wise. And also in general, guys, what are we going to expect? What are our expectations for the season? Because last season, we didn't win anything. And right now at Barcelona, you know, I don't think most of us fans are that optimistic. But as a new season coming ahead right now, we're probably not in the best period, to be fair. But we do need to get back to being, you know, one of those top teams in Europe and essentially competing for silverware by the end of the season. So that's the aim for this season, I would say, overall. But we're going to be going into a lot of detail with all these things and discussing a season preview for Barcelona. So let's start with the squad, actually, because that's something that I think quite a lot of Barcelona fans, when they're looking at how the season's going to go, they always think about, you know, is the defence good enough? Is he good enough? Is he too old? So we're going to go and have a look at what Barcelona have at their disposal going into the season. We start in goal. It's going to be Ter Stegen as number 1, Neto's number 2, but as we know, Neto's going to be getting a lot of football, certainly at the start anyway. And also we've got Iñaki Peña and Adnan Tenas as sort of younger goalkeepers if need be. At right back, it's going to be Sergi Roberto. Semedo is gone. There's lots of debate as to whether he's good enough there, that's for sure, but Serginho Dest is going to be joining from Ajax, and that's a really good reinforcement, and a young one for the future too. In the centre-back positions, we've got Piqué and Longley again. There's debate as to whether that's good enough once more, you know, pretty much the same as all the other years, so you know, we have to wait and see how that does. I don't mind it, but we have to wait and see. And then as a kind of backup centre-back, so you'd expect Todibo to be sold. Same goes for Samuel Umtiti. And I think Eric Garcia from Man City is going to be brought in. That's another really good young improvement to the defence for me. And then you've also got players like Ronald Araujo, for example, who I also hope we can see a lot more of this season. Left back's also a position that probably deceives a lot of the Barcelona fans. Maybe our weakest on the entire pitch. Maybe that and right back, to be fair. Jordi Alba and Junior Firpo just essentially don't have many fans, and I can't say I'm the biggest fan of them either, so it is something that worries me. I think the only way we get a new left-back is if Firpo leaves. Say we might be able to get Zinchenko on loan, or we just promote Miranda to the first team. Something like that could happen, guys, but we just don't know. I think we're going to have Alba and Firpo, but if Firpo leaves, then you never know. We could be bringing in a new left-back, but overall with that whole left-back situation, I don't think it's one that we're overall very happy about, really. Just, is it good enough? Probably not. In the midfield, though, we are kind of playing with a double pivot now in a 4-2-3-1 shape. We've kind of got options as the likes of Busquets will be there. Again, similar to some of the defenders, people don't really want him around much longer. Then you've got Frenkie de Jong there, who we're looking to have a big season from. Also, Miralem Pjanic, who's actually got, all of a sudden, you know, I wouldn't say a fan's favourite, but he's someone who we definitely want to see playing on that pitch, you know, week in, week out right now next to De Jong. And then also as other options, you've got players like Alenya in there. You've got Ricky Puig, who I know isn't going to be playing as much football this season, but we certainly hope that he can be getting chances, you know, here and there at least. You look a little bit further forward, and there's players like Pedri. Of course, Lionel Messi, you know, we can't forget about Messi in there. Griezmann's going to be there, an option in kind of the central attacking midfield role. I don't think Wijnaldum's going to be signing, although, you know, we've got to wait till the end of the window, but I don't think that's happening. I'm pretty sure he's staying at Liverpool. You look at the wings, though. The wings is something that I'm probably happier about. Just because we've got more depth, we've got more options. You know, we've got Ansu Fati there, we've got Trincao, Pedri can play on the wings, Messi and Griezmann, of course, can play on the wings too. We've got Ousmane Dembélé, of course, who we cannot forget. You've got Coutinho, who I haven't even mentioned yet, coming back from loan. He's going to be playing in the number 10 position for the majority of the season, I think, and probably also as a starter. Then you also got youth players like Conrad de la Fuente. You look up front. Is Martin Braithwaite going to stick around? Maybe, maybe not. And then also perhaps Memphis Depay, who can also play in any of the positions across the front four, really. Probably not right midfield, but other than that, you know, I'd expect him in the number 10 position, on the left, down the middle. He's a versatile player, and just going through the team for Barcelona, maybe it's not the strongest, but for me it's quite competitive. There's some younger players coming through. I think a lot of, I wouldn't say dead wood, because I think Suarez is still going to have a good season. Same goes for Rakitic, same goes for Vidal, but I think their time was up at Barcelona, and the team, it is being rejuvenated. Players like Dest coming in, players like Eric Garcia coming in, hopefully Memphis Depay also, and then look at Coutinho back from loan, Trincao coming in, Pedri coming in, Pjanic coming in, also like Alenya back from loan. I just feel that the team, it looks completely different. If Dembélé can stay fit also, look at Ansu Fati getting more options, and right now, the Barcelona team, maybe we haven't done that much, but there's a new formation, there's a new setup, and there's certainly a lot of new players, and I hope that it can be a good season. The squad maybe isn't where I'd exactly want it to be, but it's not far off, and to me it looks quite young, hopefully fit enough, and certainly competitive. But just going in a little bit more on that 4-2-3-1 formation, because it wouldn't be right to do a Barcelona preview video for the season without mentioning that, of course, Ronald Koeman is a new coach. He's going to be coming in. And usually at Barcelona, we would play that 4-3-3, really no matter who the manager is. But Koeman has come in, and he obviously wants to change things. He's already seen Barcelona play, and he's thought, that isn't good enough, or that doesn't work. And for me, there are negatives and positives to it, mainly because as a Barcelona fan, I always feel 4-3-3 is probably the best way to go. It gives you the best options to stick to the philosophy, usually to get the best results also. But we've seen in recent seasons that maybe that isn't quite the case. I think it would be if we had the right style, the right manager, maybe even the right players, and of course the right directive. But I think we've got quite a lot against us. That it's not a bad idea to be playing this sort of formation, but it's also important that Koeman gets it right, I think. In the squad right now, we've got a lot of players who maybe this will be beneficial to. I'm speaking about De Jong, Coutinho, and even Messi and Griezmann to a certain extent will probably be profiting from playing in positions just a little bit behind the front man. So if we can get Depay in, who can occupy the penalty area essentially, try and occupy the centre-backs, then you've got players like Messi, Griezmann, Coutinho, Ansu Fati, Trincao, Pedri. The list is so big, guys, that I just think we've got so much more attacking talent than we did last season. Whereas last season we were looking at, right, I've got Messi up there, we've got Griezmann up there. Suarez was injured, Dembele wasn't around at all. Ansu Fati was only 16 for goodness sake. Now we've got so many more options. The third striker isn't ever going to be Vidal anymore. It's not going to be 32-year-old Vidal storming forward from midfield and we're just praying he gets his head on something. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. We've got a lot of talent, a lot of players who can help us win football matches, and that excites me. I'm just hoping in the 4-2-3-1 that it's good enough. Like I say, I do worry whether it perfectly suits Barcelona, but if we can get the personnel right, if we can get the work attitude right, I think that's going to really help us be a lot stronger as a team, and especially in Europe actually, because I think in recent years in Europe, say we go away to a tough ground, we can get run over, and that's not good enough. So with the 4-2-3-1, can we be more dynamic? Can we get more chances on the counter-attack? Can we recover possession better? And essentially hurt the opposition more? Maybe not play the most beautiful football, still dominate the matches, but be more competitive, be more versatile, be more opportunistic almost, to take over the ball and essentially go and attack the opposition and make something happen for ourselves that isn't just, playing around a little bit and then finding a perfect pass, because whilst that's brilliant, that's what we want to see as Barcelona fans, without the likes of Xavi or Iniesta to execute that, it makes it very, very difficult. So it's all about personnel, getting things right and making it so that we find the correct formula for all matches so we can compete. If we just finish off some objectives for the season, guys, I'd have to say we'd be looking to win at least one trophy, really. You'd feel anyway, last season we didn't get a trophy at all, and it's not going to be easy to win something this year either. It really isn't. You look at La Liga. For me, Real Madrid are probably favourites. They don't look good at all, but you have to mention the refereeing decisions in their favour. It just boosts their chance of winning matches by about 100 to 120% in my opinion. It's very difficult to beat them. If things are going wrong, they will get a decision. There's no point, stepping over it or saying, let's be respectful. It's the truth. So Barcelona are going to find that difficult to take the crown off Real Madrid. I see it hard, but I also see it possible. Barcelona have just got to get in there and win matches. We started last season way too slow. We dropped too many points throughout the season. We never look competitive enough. And I've said competitive a lot, just because I saw Barcelona last season as very weak, very lethargic, very unable. And you're kind of watching us play like, oh, goodness me, please get there first. Or, we looked so slow, so unable. And that was really painful to watch at times. I look at the lineup this season, and it's way, I wouldn't say better almost, but it just looks more able to me. It's got more pace, probably more strength, and I'm hoping with Koeman training them, more energy in them. More desire to win the ball, more desire to win the games, and we've got big competitions coming up this year. Champions League, I'm hoping we can be way more competitive in. La Liga is such a tricky competition. It's all about just racking up 3 points as the weekends go on. The games are so hard, so tactical. You've got to be really careful in how you piece things together. The 4-2-3-1 is going to be tested in La Liga because not many teams play it. So I'm excited to see how Koeman does with that and just how, players figure out things. Maybe Griezmann or Messi or even Coutinho, whoever's in the 10 role, can just drop back in and help us to control the midfield a little bit more, because La Liga is about midfield a lot, whereas in Europe, I think the 4-2-3-1 could suit us a little bit more. You also got the Copa del Rey. I really want to win that. We haven't won that in 2 seasons, but it's going to be hard. It really is. You know, there's a lot of fixture congestion around the time of the Copa, and sometimes you just have to sacrifice it with a weak lineup, for example. And then you've also got the Super Copa, of course. It's an odd competition now. They play in Saudi Arabia. Whether that's going to be possible or not this year, we don't know. But anyway, that isn't the main thing we'd be looking for. But what I just want to see from Koeman's Barcelona is, you know, the new lineup, obviously, lots of new players. Just more hunger, more desire, more fitness, you know, and then once we've got that, there's no reason why we can't compete. The team's looking good, the signings we're bringing in my opinion, are spot on. One of our best windows, actually, since Bartomeu has been as the president, and things aren't looking bad. There probably isn't much optimism right now around the club, but I think Barcelona can probably have a good season if we just do some things right. It's a tough start, it really is. You know, you've got Villarreal, Celta Vigo, Sevilla, Getafe, Real Madrid. 5 of some of the hardest teams in La Liga, guys, coming straight at us, and some of the hardest fixtures for us also personally. So it's going to be hard, but we've got to go there looking for 3 points every match. Messi said that last season with Barcelona, and it's not good enough to just, you know, lose games, drop points here and there. We've got to just be winning, and it's that simple. It's going to be a tough season, but we're going to all be here for it. So that's where I'm going to end this little season preview, guys. Please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll be getting back to all of you guys. It's an interesting season ahead, and it does start tonight, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.